Hey everyone, Creatively Cara here, and my channel is all about taking you along on my creative journey with me. I am in a different background than typical, and that's because I'm at my parents' house right now and they live on a small lake, and it's just so peaceful here. But today I wanted to share with you some summer bullet journal theme ideas. I am really excited to share these with you. I came up with 4 different ideas and I really love how they turned out. We're going to be doing this in kind of 2 parts. I'll be doodling out the ideas on half a page, and then I will take those ideas and turn them into a cover page so you can actually see what that's gonna end up looking like for a theme. Now I'm gonna need your help to vote for the one that you'd like to see me create as my June theme idea. So stay tuned till the end and I can't wait to see your vote. To begin, I got my inspiration from Pinterest, so I do have a summer bullet journal theme idea on there, and I will link to that board down below in case you're interested in checking it out. But I wanted to pick out 4 different themes just to help give you some inspiration as well as myself, because I never really am 100% sure of what theme I want to end up doing. And so this is honestly such a great way to plan out a few different ideas if you have a few things in mind. So I started off by kind of doing a half page for each theme idea. And the first theme idea I went with is Firefly's. Now this one's been done quite a bit, I'd say, but I've never personally done it. And I wanted to incorporate some watercolor. So I did use my technique where I use a plastic sandwich bag, and then I used my Crayola Super Tips with some water and just rub that on the page. And it works really well, especially if you don't go too heavy with the water. It really doesn't damage the page too much. I wanted to incorporate the Firefly's theme with some mason jars, so I did include that as well. I just added some wings, and I wanted the yellow to kind of glow a little bit. So after I went through and filled all of these ones out, I decided to try a different technique, and that was basically using the yellow Crayola Super Tip first. Then I took a brush pen with water in it, and I kind of added some water to that Crayola Super Tip, and then it added this kind of glow effect around the yellow. Then I went in and added in like the head and the wings, and I really liked that. The next idea I had in my mind was to kind of do this tropical leaf theme. And of course, I think this one's been done a little bit as well, but I really just love the idea of this and the colors and everything about it, honestly. I love greens. So I just looked up some different tropical leaf ideas. I just found a few different shades of green, and I included all of those in here. Now, when it comes to this theme, I imagined it would just kind of those leaves overlapping, and I definitely wanted to add a pop of color to it as well. I was researching some of the different tropical flowers that I could include, and I found this pink one. I forget what it's called already, but I really liked the pink one, and then it has this like yellow center. So ultimately though, I really like how those flowers turned out. I think it was a good choice. This is one of my top ones that I like once I go and do a cover page. So stay tuned for that one because that one turned out really good. I did go back through and outline each leaf and flower. I debated on whether or not I was going to do this when I started it because I wanted to try it without it, but it didn't have the right pop that I wanted. So once I added that outline, it looked so much better. The next idea I have is kind of an underwater theme. I wanted to be a little bit more specific in what I was doing when it came to the underwater, and I really thought that the watercolor would be a nice effect on this one again, so I did include that. And then I want it to focus around an octopus. So the octopus would be kind of the focal point of this theme here. And then I figured, since we're kind of doing this underwater, I would include some plants again. So I did a little bit of seaweed, a little bit of coral, some different underwater plants that I found. And I really liked the idea of these doodles. I think that works really well for this. And then also adding in like maybe a little bit of bubbles and stuff just to add some kind of texture and background. Now I did realize that once I did this one kind of on this doodle side before I did the cover page, I ended up coloring everything in. And once I finished doing that, I did not really like how it turned out. Like, it's okay, but I lost kind of that watercolor effect. Once I go and recreate this on the cover page, you'll see that I change it up a little bit. And that was another thing that I realized I really liked about doing my theme ideas this way, because here I'm just kind of doodling out what I think would be awesome to include in the theme. And then prepping up a cover page with really what I have in mind after practicing it was such a great idea, because this really helped get my brain rolling in like the different tools that I can use to create what I want. And then I actually created more of what I wanted, because this next one that I'm creating right now is another example of that. The teal I picked out to color my vintage van was not at all the color I wanted. I don't know why I thought this would be the color. It's too green. I wanted it to be more of this like light teal color. Yeah, the color I'm using on the bumper, that's the actual color I wanted to have the van as. So yeah, I wasn't quite happy with that, but ultimately that theme was gonna be kind of this old Volkswagen van with some daisies. And I really liked the idea that I put here, but this is my other top favorite when it comes to the cover page. So that's the last one you'll see. So hang in there with me. All right, now we're creating those cover pages. I really wanted to create sort of this blue streak of watercolor across the page, and I think I did it pretty well here. And then I added some of the yellow watercolor as well, so that you could kind of see the glow of the fireflies here. Now I did use the technique that I talked about where I add the yellow and then I take the water brush pen in here and circle around it just to make it glow a little bit. And then I did decide to actually go in with a darker yellow to then draw out kind of their body with the light. And I think I liked that. The yellow I chose might have been a little too dark, but it definitely emphasized it a little bit more. And then I just used a Tombow brush pen to then do a little June here. My hand lettering's not super great, but it did what I needed it to. And yeah, I just add a little bit of detail there, and I really like this one. I think it turned out great, and this could make for a really awesome June theme. I would be super excited to create that more. Don't forget, I'm gonna have you vote on these. So please let me know. You can let me know in the comments, but I will make a poll here in the top right corner. Please vote for your favorite theme. I want to know what you like and what you'd like to see me create more of for June. So be thinking about that as we're going through this. Now, this theme, again, one of my top favorites. I really love how it turned out. I think it's the colors, and then, I don't know, I think maybe the style I decided to choose. Be warned, my video does cut out a little bit here, and I kind of just jumped to showing you the final product, but I do show you a little bit of how I created it. Basically, I just kind of drew a line. You could put tape down if you don't trust yourself in not going over that line, but I just created this imaginary line here, and I made these plants coming out from on top and out from on bottom, and really, really love that effect. I've been kind of obsessed with that. I did it for like February with watercolor, and it turned out great. So yeah, that's what I did here. I drew those leaves. I tried to kind of make it so that everything was balanced with the colors and the different kinds of leaves that I used. I only added 2 flowers here. I think that that's probably pretty good, but I probably could add another one. But here's the final product. I love how I did the header, and yeah, I really like that one. I'm also being like really partial to my June theme because June is my birthday month, and I don't know, I just really want something that's gonna speak to me. So I hope you guys can help me figure out which one that is, because honestly, I love all of these. All right, so next we're gonna be doing my octopus theme. And so here I decided I was not going to color everything in, because again, I feel like that kind of ruined the effect that I was going for when I first doodled it out. Instead, after I doodled everything out, like I could have left it there, but I don't know, it needed a little bit more color. So what I did instead of coloring it all the way in was I just took that dark blue and outlined the octopus, and then I also took the one green to kind of outline the plants as well. So I didn't color anything all the way in, and I only used 2 colors because I added like pink on the doodle page, and I don't know, the pink was too much, I think, maybe. Just added in a header here. I kind of wanted to go for this almost like bubble font, since again we're under the sea, and I opted in for coloring in the words. And also here I'm upset because I didn't measure this out right, and the Y is kind of hiding. I just made the Y go behind the octopus so you can't really see it. But anyways, then I draw this outline off center from the July. I messed up on the U, so don't look at that, but I really liked that. I think that that font would be perfect for this theme. And then just went in and added in some bubbles. Again, needed a pop, so I added that dark blue color to it as well. Overall, This is probably like my least favorite, but I think it's still really cute and I would still absolutely love to do this theme. So last but not least, we have the Volkswagen vintage van and the daisies, and I'm so excited to share this one for you. Like, I ended up picturing this one in my mind because I'm like, I really want to include the daisies, but I wasn't sure how exactly. And I'm like, well, I could just kind of make it this like background texture, but I was really nervous that it was going to take away from the Volkswagen. So, well, I went for it. I drew it all out. Drawing it all out helps because then you can just erase the lines and only color what you need. And I did choose the right teal. It looks so much better. I love how this teal looks. I was going to maybe add like a pop of color for the bumper and stuff, but I decided to keep it a little bit more neutral and just went with this gray mild liner. And I'm happy with how that turned out, but ultimately just adding in some details to the van here. I wasn't super detailed on it, but I wanted to add a little bit to like the tires and the headlights. So really love how those all turned out there. And there's so many different ways you can kind of draw these Volkswagens or make different colors. So, you know, if you end up liking this theme for your own bullet journal, you could certainly change up the colors easily. So when I finished the Volkswagen, I went to do the background and I had to think a little bit on this one. I'm like, okay, so I could use that gray mild liner to, you know, outline the daisies. And so I tested that in another page and I did not like how it looked compared to the black. So I'm like, all right, we're gonna go for the black. And I'm like, please, 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 I hope it all comes together nicely. And honestly, I loved it. It is still kind of like a lot going on. It is still a lot going on, but I think that ultimately it looks pretty good. Now with the background being covered in daisies, I was like, crap, where am I gonna put June? I decided to put it inside the windows and that worked out perfect. And then I wanted to add a little bit to the license plate there on the bumper. Now I figured just to help the van pop out a little bit, I added an outline of gray to the van, and definitely a good idea. I probably could add maybe a little bit more to make it pop a little bit more, but yeah, I love how this one turned out. Thank you all so much for taking the time to watch my video today. If you liked what you saw, make sure you hit that like button down below, and if you haven't already, make sure you hit that subscribe button as well. Until next time, bye-bye.